Welcome back to Home Sweet Home Cooking. I am your host, Rocky. Where am I at?
Your mother's kitchen.
And who are you?
Your mother.
And what day are we cooking for?
I forgot.
It is Saturday before Mother's Day, and Saturday is our normal filming day because it's in between my dad's dialysis, so I'm making her Mother's Day meal today. We are going to do probably the both of ours favorite Chinese order, and that's General Tso's. If we go someplace new, for me, that's what I always get. I judge their quality on that because I've had General Tso's at pretty much every place I go. I can kind of gauge where they fall in line with other restaurants. And that's also generally what she gets. So, it is the recipe I have is a little bit fiddly, a little bit, it's got several parts to it. The first thing you need to do is cool down the, I got 6 tablespoons of cornstarch, 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt in this bowl. That is going to be for the breading. That's going to go in the fridge. In the fridge, I also have soda water, so that's going to get in the fridge. And next, I'm going to start with the first half of the sauce because that's also going to be the marinade for the chicken. I've got 10 ounces of chicken cut up into 1-inch cubes in this bowl. For the sauce, I'm going to start with 3 tablespoons of light soy sauce. And light not meaning low calorie or low sodium, just the fact that it's not dark soy sauce. There is a light and a dark. 2. Knew I was going to be just a tad bit short. I'm glad I opened this one off camera. 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. 1 tablespoon of hoisin sauce. This stuff I love it. It's really good. It's very thick, so I'm just going to go in there for a little bit of soy in there. Doesn't matter because pretty much everything you put hoisin sauce already has soy in it in the recipe. 1 tablespoon of rice wine vinegar. I don't have rice wine vinegar. I've got rice vinegar and white wine vinegar. I'm just going to use the rice vinegar. It's to add tang, so I don't think where it comes from is going to be all that important in this recipe. 2 teaspoons of sambal olek. It is a chili paste. And where's the teaspoon? This is, I just cracked this open. It is very, very, tastes like, it smells like chilies. Basically, this would be the whole chili pepper ground up. It's still got the seeds in it. So it'd be like, instead of getting the crushed red pepper, you're getting the whole pepper with the seeds in. Definitely it warms back the throat immediately. And that's what brings the heat to General Tso's. Next is 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. And that is all that goes into this portion of it. So from here, I'm going to give this a mix. Because this part, whew, that sambal is warm on the back of the throat. I can feel it. I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of this and pour that over the chicken. That's going to be the marinade for the chicken. So I'm going to actually use this spoon because then I can go ahead and wash that. Give that a stir. Now, like I said, this has to get cooled off in the fridge. This has to marinate for 20 minutes so they can both go in the fridge here together. I'm going to go ahead and put the final ingredients of the sauce in here, which is 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and it's going to be 3/4 cup of chicken stock. So not quite a full cup. That's 3/4. That's going to be the remainder of the sauce. I just want to get this because I've already got it out. Now I can clear the table of all this stuff. And I'm going to get the whisk. I'm going to whisk the lumps out here. And 20 minutes for this to cool, to marinate, get this done. To get everything cleaned up and get set up for the frying stage. The frying also needs to be done in 2 stages, so that's going to take a little bit, but I'll be back in about 20-25 minutes and we will continue the recipe from there. Alright, so the chicken is cooled down or marinated for 20 minutes, and time to do the rest of the batter, which is the flour, cornstarch, salt, and baking powder. To that, you're going to add 7 to 8 tablespoons of cold soda water. 8 tablespoons is a half a cup, so I got a half a cup going in. I'm going to mix the dries here real quick. You always want to mix, anytime you're using cornstarch, use cold liquid. You don't want to put that into something warm, otherwise it'll clump up. So you want to mix it without over mixing it. It's going to be thick. It's almost going to be like icing, like frosting. That is what's going to help it adhere and make it really thick, crunchy breading on the chicken. Alright, set that aside. Now I can take get these in the right order. Turn my wok back on, make sure it's up to about 350-ish, which it is. Gonna take 7 to 8 pieces. You don't want to overcrowd this. I'm doing this in a wok. You can do it in a frying pan. Just put some oil in it enough where it's gonna cover the chicken piece that you put in. Again, even in a pan, you don't want to overcrowd it. So I'm just gonna take 7 or 8 pieces at a time. This is a half cup of corn starch. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just gonna dredge it in the cornstarch. That's gonna help the batter stick. And this is going to have to be kind of packed on when you put the liquid batter on. You're going to kind of roll it in, make sure you pat it in there, and stick it on there really good. And this will give you that really, really crispy, crunchy coating like you get at the restaurants. Okay, that is what it's going to look like. So you can lay those in and fry for 3 minutes. Make sure they stay submerged, get coated in oil. So you're going to probably stir them lightly to make sure they don't stick, because this is sticky. This is very sticky. And let's see the time, so kind of already starting my 3-minute clock here. The cornstarch is what gives it the stickiness, and it's going to make it crispy. The soda water gives it some air bubbles to help it kind of give a little bit of puff to it, which is going to add the air bubbles, so as the air cooks out, it's going to help keep the oil from soaking into the meat, into the inside of the batter. It's going to push the air out easier, faster, and also help it maintain its crispiness. So, batches. Looks like it's going to take me probably 3, maybe 4 batches of chicken to get this done. I've got a landing zone already set up over here, and I got my clean rag to wipe the chicken juice off, and get this on the rack. Once all the chicken is cooled, it's going to have to cool down for 20 minutes. And what that does is you do a second fry on this as well to help it get crispy. So the first one is kind of just cooking it through, then it's going to sit there and kind of continue its cooking. Like I said, 3 minutes really isn't long enough as one shot, but it's going to kind of cook through. So the middle gets cooked, and then when you drop for the second time, that's when it's going to fry hard and crispy. It'll already be crispy from the first time through. So I'll make a little flip here. And you're going to see when these come out the first time, They're going to still be very pale. Come on, flip, there you go. Getting a little bit of browning. And kind of messy, it is, but if you want the good crispy stuff, this is kind of how you got to do it. This recipe, I'm following the same technique for the chicken. As far as frying the chicken to get a crisp, I did find for a honey chicken. So basically the chicken is the same way. You want that really crunchy chicken in the honey chicken, and you fry the chicken the same way, but you of course use a different sauce for the honey chicken. Alright, that's coming up on just about 3 minutes. So what do we have left? Cook this off in batches. Let it cool for 20 minutes. As soon as it starts to get it all darn here, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the rice, because the rice takes, once you bring the rice to a boil and get the water to a boil, put the rice in, it takes 20 minutes to cook, so that'll be about perfect time to start the rice. Then I got to come back and I'm going to second fry these till they're nice golden brown. And take them out of the grease, pour the grease out of the wok, put a little bit of grease back in, and finish the sauce at that point. So once I get this ready for the second fry, we'll come back and show you what it looks like. But these are ready to come out right now. And as you can see, they're very pale. There's a little bit of browning when they touch the bottom, but not much. They're, I guess, very blonde, you would call it. Oh, get out of it. Get out of there. Alright, I'll be back when I get this ready down for the second fry. Okay, we are ready, set, and go for the next procedure. These are cooled down. It's been 20 minutes after they've all come out of the fryer. I've got the oil now up to 390-ish instead of 350-ish. And I can go in a little bit bigger batches this time. And these are just going to go for 90 seconds to get them crisp. That's all we're doing now is taking the pre-cooked and crisping up that outer breading for 90 seconds, a minute and a half. I'm going to go ahead and get this fried for 90 seconds. You can do a little bit bigger batches. I still have to do it in two because it's not big enough to do it in a single batch. Alright, it's too big. The wok isn't big enough to do this in a single batch. So this will come out in two batches, and we'll come back at that point because the sauce comes next, which is right here, and we'll be there in just a moment. Alright, the second batch has been in for 90 seconds. It's time to come out. I'm going to turn the heat down just a tad. Next part is the dangerous part, the part where you can hurt yourself. So be very careful with this if you're using a wok. It almost, if you're not comfortable doing this way, use two pots or two pans of some sort. What I'm going to do is pour the oil off into a metal bowl and leave about 2 tablespoons in there. A little short, which is fine. Okay. I'm going to add, come on, start. This is going to be added for the sauce. It is called for 2 cloves of garlic and 2 teaspoons of ginger minced. So I've got this ginger garlic paste. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon. Add a little more oil into there because I think I shorted myself just a touch. Alright. To that is going to be a half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. And this is just going to fry for about 30 seconds until it's fragrant and the garlic and ginger is just cooked through. If you're doing this with the minced, you just don't make sure you just don't burn it. Basically, all you're doing is making it fragrant. Oh yeah, I can smell that, but give it 30 seconds. So good fry is going. Now I'm going to give my sauce a final stir. And pour that in before it starts jumping over everywhere. And this is just going to get cooked through until it's thickened up. And it's going to take a minute to come to a little simmer. Now I can get rid of these. And we're just about there, Mom.
Taste test.
Just about. I told you this would take a while. This is a longer recipe. But if it comes out restaurant quality, it's definitely well worth it. Now, in all fairness, I normally don't cook something and then not show it. We did make General Tso's chicken, I don't know, a month or so ago, and I was just not happy with how it turned out. It tasted too much like ketchup.
Ketchup's good.
And it called for tomato paste, which I found is an odd ingredient in a General Tso's. So we're not going to actually post that video. If this works out good and turns out to be a good General Tso's chicken, then we'll just call this quits.
And if not, we'll make it again and get another taste test.
And then you won't see this video. No, this one looks good. It smells right. It's coming up to a nice simmer. It's thickening up well. I'll make sure it's got a nice thick glaze on it, so I'm going to cook it a little bit longer. Turn it off. Let the residual heat just kind of coast through it. And then I'm going to add my chicken back in, give it a toss, and you can already see that I got the plates ready. And I'll bring a close-up in, and you can see what this looks like going on the plate. Now my mom doesn't want rice.
Well, it's General Tso's chicken, not General Tso's rice.
She kind of follows a low-carb keto diet, so she won't get any rice. I, on the other hand, have to have rice with my Chinese. It's just not right to not. And that is what it's going to look like. General Tso's is the best of my ability to follow this recipe. And I gotta have the extra sauce on mine. What do you think, Miles? Does it look and smell right?
It smells.
If I was served with this at a restaurant, I would be happy with the way it looks.
It looks right.
Yep. My chicken is a little bit different colored. Some are a little bit darker, a little more, some are lighter tan, some are darker tan, but that's, I'm not a pro at this yet. So, I'm gonna give this a try. I don't know how to say cheers in Chinese, so
How
cheers.
to say what?
Cheers in Chinese.
Don't taste like ketchup.
No. My chicken is crispy.
I was just gonna say it's nice and crispy.
Sauce, warming on the back of the mouth, not overly hot. We could have put more pepper in ours, or sambal in the sauce. It does have that little bit of vinegary taste to it, which is reminiscent to the General Tso's. I think it tastes like General Tso's.
It does.
Now, I think I've seen General Tso's in restaurants be a little redder than this. I don't know how they get the redness in there. If they use a sweet and sour sauce as a base.
That might be.
But I don't, this isn't nearly as sweet as, maybe they do that instead of adding brown sugar. But this is not nearly, well, it is sweet because there's brown sugar, but it's not nearly as sweet as some of the General Tso's I've had in restaurants, and those are the generally ones I don't like.
This is good the way it is.
This is really good. I've had some better than this at restaurants, but this is like way up there on the list of where I've had General Tso's. This beats most restaurants that I've gone to. Whereas my ketchup tasting one was at the very bottom of the list. This I like.
Ketchup's good on almost everything.
Not Chinese. I'm gonna give this 2 thumbs way up. Very delicious. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
You got your General Tso's. I got my General Tso's. Now that I know how to make this myself, I hate the fact that my girlfriend doesn't eat this because she's going to be cooking her own meals quite a bit off into the future because I love this. It is a little fiddly to make. Maybe if I'm doing this at home, I can do, because the chicken goes the same way as the honey chicken. So if I do honey chicken for her, I don't even know if she'll eat honey chicken. She won't eat sesame chicken, so who knows. But I'm going to make this, at least Trent, I wish Trent could be here, but he started a new job. And he couldn't come here for this because he was like, he was the one that was in China for a couple years teaching English to Chinese kids. And he thought that the noodles tasted spot on. I think this would be right along the lines of what
I'm
he
glad he's
ate.
not here because we don't have to share this with him.
Yeah, I thought this was gonna make more. This is just enough for 2 people. Well, or me. All right, folks, thank you for watching. Have yourselves a great day. No more Chinese for a while. We're gonna go back to normal American food. So have a great day.